Did I miss something? Or has the game of Yu-Gi-Oh just progressed to the point that every time a new archetype comes out, we end up looping everything down a tier? Now, back in my day, back when Gladiator Beast and Teledad were decks, you know, they were amazing, and now they've just been power creeped so much. You know, we look at things like Gladiator Beast. People were hyped as shit that Bestiari went to 3. The deck has everything that it truly had at its prime, minus Giant Trinade and Cold Wave. Because there are worse things now than if Cold Wave was a card, I would shit my pants if my opponent guys RS'd me just to let me follow up and Trishula them. This is real life in that regard. And a lot of people, last year we were dealing with fucking Boojins and people strapping on their helmets and making jokes about them. This year it's Necros. Things are only going to get worse from this point with power creep. And I think a lot of people seem to disregard power creep in general. I mean, a lot of people acknowledge it. Don't get me wrong. I hear a lot of crying on the internet about it. People are like, oh my gosh, my archetype doesn't work anymore. We understand this. The point of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is for you to buy more product so you'll play the newer stuff and not play older stuff. That's kind of the whole selling point on the game is as the new shit gets released, it may or may not work with older stuff. I mean, hell, it's been, 15 years since Toons came out? It's been like 10. But the thing is, like, even Toons are getting support. Granted, monster lineup's still booty butt cheeks. However, they're getting good spell and trap support. I don't know how that's going to work. Terrible monsters and good support in spell and trap card form. Somehow the interaction just does not seem to go hand in hand here. But, granted, we'll have to wait and see how Konami handles that. There's always a silver lining. I mean, they made Toon Cyber Dragon. There's a good chance that they'll release a whole fucking ton of new Toon monsters that'll benefit that archetype there. But back on the subject of power creep, we actually got into a decent stagnant format for a while post Dragon Rollers. Dragon Rollers, when they got wiped out, we went into a format that we had the same cluster of decks for probably 8 to 10 months. I think it might have been a little bit longer, a little bit less. But it was really boring after a while. And I think they figured that out. There's nothing wrong with having a cluster of the same stuff for a year. But the problem is, in that year, they gave power to each of those decks steadily. Bujin's got a little bit better. Prophecy, things like that. And progressively, as the time went on, they began to build. And then, bam, Shadalls. When Shadalls and Stellar Knights Yang Zings dropped, it was like the Fire Nation attacked. Stupid Avatar puns. But Shadalls were, the first deck that came out in that block, and they basically just shit on everything that we knew. And this is actually a good example of the power creep progression here. Because up until Dragon Rulers, things were okay. Post Dragon Rulers, things were really peaceful. When Shadalls came out, it was a very big eye-opener to people that we were going out of a golden age of the game into a much speedier format. No one enjoyed dealing with Yang Zings when they first came out, week 1 and week 2. Let's be completely real here. You can say you enjoy playing the deck, but you can't say you had fun playing against it. Unless you opened up Macro Defissure. Then you probably had a good time. And then you guys understand what happened next. We got Quillfort, Necros, and then Quillfort's died on the ban list. We lost Stratos somewhere along in the way in there. But it definitely shows that, Mermails, Boojins, Prophecy, even though they were good for their time was very well overspent, in my opinion. Now, This time next year or 2 years from now, the decks that are currently a problem, you know, Necros, Stellar Knights, Shaddolls, they're going to get power creeped out. Some way, somewhere, something's going to happen in some new card design that will just either they're going to get shut down on the ban list some way. We might go into another prosperity block. Having looked at some of the next stuff coming out in the next set, Aqua Actresses seem like a really bad archetype. And, you know, there's not going to be much else besides Ignites and this Red Eye support that'll be, in my opinion, super amazing. So maybe we will go into another prosperity block where they'll fix their shit. And, you know, older decks can kind of come back. I mean, hell, Firefist are at their prime, and they topped one regional, and then they just disappeared, you know. So granted, this time next year, we'll either be heading out of a prosperity block. This September will be a good chance to see if we're going to be in a prosperity block or if we're going to continue to get wrecked by Necros. Yes, Norden is coming to the TCG. I think one instant fusion, or if they limit Norden to one or some shit like that. It's a very easy fix to the card, but we'll have to wait and see how things go. So, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys are thinking. I want to hear your guys' opinions, and well, I'm out.
I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please thumbs up this video to show your support, and please check out Vanguard 40 for Cardfight Vanguard, MKohl Games for miscellaneous trading card games, and No Limit Gaming for a brand new series of Yu-Gi-Oh videos. Thanks for watching.